And this is my review for Transformers Hunt for the Decepticons Deluxe Class Hailstorm. Hailstorm, as you can see, is a missile tank, which is really cool. You don't get a whole lot of missile tank Transformers, so I was really happy when they announced that they were going to make this guy a missile tank. The only other figure that I can think of that actually transformed into a missile tank was the Cybertron Defense Team Scattershot mold, which was repainted a couple of times in the Universe line. It's a really cool design. I've always liked the design of these missile tanks. I think they're wicked awesome. But very cool vehicle mode. I really do like it. He might be based off an actual vehicle. I'm not sure on that. I remember reading somewhere that he was, but I didn't pay attention to what vehicle it was, so don't ask me what type of vehicle he was because I genuinely have no idea. Anyway, not a whole lot to say about in terms of features. I mean, he does roll because there's these little wheels built into the treads. The treads, just due to transformation, don't work. I do question the use of this brown plastic for the treads. I really don't know why they decided to go with it. It looks a little bit off. I think if they had just made them black or even just gray, I think it would have looked good. It would have been really nice if they had used this silver paint that they put throughout this guy on the treads. But anyway, that is my biggest complaint overall with the figures. I just really don't like the coloring on this tread. I think it looks really weird, but whatever. That's personal gripe. Anyway, also he does have a missile launching gimmick, which is cool. He fires 8 missiles, which I think is the record for a Transformer in terms of missile capacity. I'm certain it's the record for the Deluxe, but I'm not sure. But anyway, there's no launching mechanism because obviously you can't fit 8 missile launchers into one toy because it'd just be huge. So they are the type of missiles that you use your finger to launch, and if you press on them, they will fire out. It does depend on how much pressure you put on the missile. Sometimes they can fire far, sometimes they don't go far at all. It all depends on how you push on them. But it is pretty cool. I really do like that. And again, can't go wrong with 8 missiles, right? Anyway, also the turret does rotate. It doesn't rotate 360 degrees just due to the way that it's designed, but that would be a problem on the actual tank itself too, so that's accurate. Anyway, on to transformation. It's not too hard. It's a little bit more complex the first time you get them, but once you master it, it does get easier. The first thing that you should do is you really should lift this up. It does make things a whole lot easier to lift this piece up. Anyway, then what you want to do is you want to go to the front. You want to take these pieces, you want to bend them off to the side like so, and kind of just bring everything out. Then what you want to do is you want to take these tread pieces, and you want to fold them up like so, and then push on them to tab them in, and again fold them up, and then push them in, tab them in. Then what you want to do is you want to take these pieces, and you want to start bringing them out to the side, and you want to go ahead and raise this piece up. This will form his head. And then what's really cool is you take the treads, you start squeezing them together. If you do it properly, his head will actually start to compress into his body, which I thought was a neat design. I like how it accordions in. It's a very unique design, and I don't think it's ever been used since on a Transformer. I think it's really neat. Anyway, then you want to go ahead and flip this piece up to tab in his waist. Rotate it around. Take his feet, you want to push them in, like so. And then you want to rotate his arms around and get them to stay in a proper position. Then with the missile launching rack, you can do a couple of things with it. You can, if you want, just leave it like this, folded up against his back, which looks fine. But what I like to do is I like to go and open it up. You take this piece, and then you split the whole assembly, and then you rotate one off to the side, and then the other off to the side, and then angle them. That gives him these giant missile launchers on his shoulders, which I think is really cool. I know a lot of people complain about the way that these missiles stick out. And personally, it doesn't really bother me. I get why it bothers a lot of people, but I really don't mind it. I'm not going to cut them off simply because I may one day just want to shoot the missile just for the heck of it, but I can understand why it does bother some people. It really doesn't look that bad to me, though. So, anyway. And then you have Hailstorm in robot mode. Really cool looking, too. I really like the way that they designed this guy. I like the stout little squat brute design that they gave this guy, and I'm a really big fan of his head sculpt. I think it's a really nice little head sculpt. Sadly, there's no light piping, which I don't understand why they didn't give him, but it does look really cool otherwise. I like how it has this flat top design. It reminds me a lot of the of the Tombstone character from the Spider-Man comics. I think it's a really, really neat design because Tombstone always was one of my favorite characters just because he's so freaking creepy. Anyway, for posability, this guy does have a lot. His head is on a ball joint. It's a little bit limited just due to the way that the ball joint is actually facing in a different direction than on most Transformers. Usually it's on a neck joint that goes straight up. On this one it goes outwards just due to the transformation. So it doesn't really look left and right. It goes up and down, but it doesn't really look left to right, which is a bit of a shame, but no, what are you going to do? He does have shoulders that rotate. They don't really go in and out just due to the transformation, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well. He does have an elbow joint right here, and then a ball joint on the elbow. I know a lot of people have also complained about the fact that these arms look spindly, and it is true, they do look a little bit spindly. I think they could have made them a little bit thicker, but it doesn't really bother me too much. Also, if you rotate the ball joint a little bit to kind of give his arms a bit of an angle, it doesn't really look that bad. I think it looks a whole lot better, but again, that's personal preference. Anyway, like I say, he does have a ball jointed elbow, which is nice. You would think that his wrists would open just looking at them, but sadly they're all just one piece and they don't open up, which I think they could have incorporated easily. I don't really know why they did that, honestly, but oh well. No waist joint just due to the transformation, which is understandable. He does have ball jointed hips. They don't go side to side too much just due to the transformation, but they do go in and out and back and forth. He does have a double jointed knee just due to transformation. The top joint doesn't really do much because it is pretty limited, but you still can use it. And also his feet do go side to side. I'm going to go up and down a little bit. So you can get some pretty nice poses out of this guy. I would have liked it if his head had a little bit more range of movement so you could make it look straight up and then have him posed on the ground kind of like a gorilla. I think that would have been really, really neat, but oh well, they didn't do that, so oh well. Anyway, for some size comparisons, first off, here he is for a standard size comparison next to Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee. So you can see, I don't know if I can get Bumblebee to stand. So you can see he is squat, but again, that was just due to the design of him being a short little punk thug, which makes sense to me, and personally it doesn't bother me. It might bother some people, but anyway. And also, here he is next to Hunt for the Decepticons Terror-Dive, and I compare him to him because simply, I think that these two figures were the best figures out of the whole Hunt for the Decepticons line. I never picked up the Deluxe Ironhide, which a lot of people seem to like, but I never picked it up, and I don't have any plans to. If I find it cheap, I might pick it up. But anyway, so I do think that these two guys are the best of the Hunt for the Decepticons line. If you're going to track down just two, get Terror-Dive and Hailstorm. If you can only get one, definitely get Terror-Dive, because Terror-Dive is just an awesome, awesome figure. This guy's really cool too, but again, I really, really do like this guy. So anyway, there you go, my look at Transformers Hunt for the Decepticons Deluxe Class Hailstorm. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.